They say there's a road out past the last dying sunset, past the final mile a man can ride, a place where the wind stops whispering and your past stops hiding. Some call it a myth, some call it the end, but those who've truly crossed over, they call it Purgatory Gulch. And tonight, you're going to hear the story of a man who walked into that place believing he understood life, but had no idea what life thought of him. Before we saddle up, hit that like button, subscribe if you enjoy dark western tales, and tell me in the comments, where are you listening from, and what time is it for you right now? I'd love to know who's riding along with us. Now, tighten your reins. This ain't a story for the faint of hearted. This is the last ride of Bertie Masterbein. There's a place far beyond the reach of any map, past the last mountain range, past the final lonely desert, past the final breath a man ever takes. Folks whisper about it in saloons and dying campfires. A place called Purgatory Gulch. Nobody rides into Purgatory Gulch alive, and nobody rides out unchanged. The day Bertie Masterbein arrived, the desert wind blew slow, steady, carrying the kind of silence that comes before judgment. A broken-down stagecoach rolled to a stop beside a hanging wooden sign. Welcome to Purgatory Gulch. Your afterlife matters. The words were painted in Comic Sans, a cruel joke for a cruel world. Bertie stepped out, brushing dust from his once expensive coat, his pride still trying to survive even after his body hadn't. Railroad baron, frontier tyrant, a man who thought he owned the world. He didn't know it yet, but he was the fourth worst man to ever walk the western frontier. A rattling sound broke the stillness. A skeleton in a dusty long coat and lawyer's hat approached, boots clacking softly across the stone. "Good afternoon, sir. Name's Baldrick. I'll be representing you today. All the best lawyers come from Hell Canyon." Bertie blinked. "You're my lawyer?" Baldrick tipped his hat. "Till judgment says otherwise." He led Bertie into a vast open-air courtroom where black stone pillars rose like dead giants. At the center sat a single wooden stool, low, jagged, cruel. "That's your seat." Bertie sat, the stool's edges dug into him like punishment carved in wood. A tall figure in white descended from the altar, boots polished, eyes steady with divine authority. Gabe, heaven's representative. Behind the altar, an ancient judge rose slowly, judgmental, his voice tired like he'd sentenced 1,000 lifetimes and expected 1,000 more. "Let's get this over with," he muttered. Gabe unrolled a scroll so long it trailed across the dirt floor. "Bertie Masterbein, you stand accused of the following sins." And he began. "At age 3, smashing your mother's vase and blaming the nanny." "That was decades ago," Bertie snapped. Gabe continued without pause. "Failing to correct the lie. Forcing workers to lay track during lightning storms, destroying water supplies to seize land, firing an elderly employee one day before his pension matured, threatening your wife, abandoning your son, mocking the poor." The list kept growing. "Stealing company funds into an account labeled Shithead Stag Do." Baldrick whispered, "Bad naming choice, sir." Gabe didn't smile. "Blaming your intern, letting him be arrested, showing no remorse." The courtroom grew cold. Gabe finally said, You were not the worst man in the West, but you were the fourth worst." Bertie stared, stunned. "Fourth?" Baldrick slapped his back. "Top 5 ain't nothing, sir." The judge exhaled. "Defense, make it brief." Baldrick stepped forward. "Your Honor, my client is undeniably awful, truly, spectacularly. But," Gabe snapped, "there is no but." "There is one," Baldrick said, unrolling a separate parchment. "In 3 years' time, a student funded by Bertie's scholarship, money he only gave to look generous, will develop a treatment that saves millions." Bertie blinked. He hadn't known this. Baldrick continued, "So yes, he hurt people, but he may also save countless others." Gabe answered, "Consequences do not erase cruelty." "And cruelty doesn't erase accidental good," Baldrick countered. The judge rubbed his eyes. "We continue tomorrow." Bertie exhaled in relief. Judge Mental raised a finger. "Oh, not you, Mr. Masterbind. You stay right there. No breaks, no rest. Sit and wait." Then the chamber emptied, leaving Bertie alone with the wind. Time twisted. He shouted for mercy. He cursed the judge. He begged for answers. But no one came. Silence grew teeth. Eventually, something inside him cracked. "I didn't think it mattered, the things I did. I didn't think anyone was real except me." A cold breeze drifted through the pillars. Then, a shimmer. A boy of 16 appeared, hat in hand, shaken. The boy whose father died building Bertie's rails. The boy Bertie rejected. "I just wanted work," he said. "You wouldn't even look at me." Bertie trembled. "No, please." But the boy vanished. Another shimmer. An old man, the pensioner he fired. "I trusted you," the old man whispered. "You took everything." Bertie collapsed, crying into his hands. But the visions didn't stop. His ex-wife appeared. "I tried to love you. You didn't leave room for love to breathe." And then, the smallest silhouette of all. A child, holding a wooden toy horse. His son. "Papa," the boy whispered. "I waited for you. I thought if I tried harder, you'd stay." Bertie broke completely. He didn't scream. He didn't curse. He just sobbed, face pressed to the cold stone. Gabe approached. "This isn't punishment," he said. "This is truth." Baldrick added quietly, "And truth hurts worse than Hell Canyon." After a long time, Bertie whispered, "What am I now?" Gabe answered, "A man who finally sees." Eventually, minutes or centuries later, Bertie stood, unsteady, different. Gabe steadied him. "Your story isn't over," he said. Baldrick motioned toward a long corridor of fading light. "That there is a road few get to walk. Not saints, not the damned. Just souls trying to become better than they ever were." Bertie swallowed hard. "Where does it end?" Gabe replied, "That depends on the man who walks it." Bertie hesitated. "Will I ever see them again, the people I hurt?" "Only when it heals, not when it harms," Gabe said gently. Bertie looked back once, at the empty stool where he had cried for the first time in his life, and whispered, "I hope they find peace, even if I never do." Gabe smiled softly. "That is your first unselfish prayer." Bertie took a breath and stepped on to the long road into the unknown, not chasing heaven, not fleeing hell, but finally searching for himself. The wind behind him whispered his name, like a soul being written anew. And if this journey struck you somewhere deep, if Bertie's story made you think about your own roads, your own choices, your own ghosts, then partner, hit that like button. Subscribe for more cinematic stories, and share this tale with someone who loves a good Western ride. And here's my question for you. If you walked into Purgatory Gulch, what's the first memory you think would come back to confront you? Tell me in the comments. Until our next ride, stay safe out there.